Welcome to episode 6 of AI News of the Week, brought to you by the AI Tips and Tools YouTube channel. Today, we're going to dive into some pretty significant societal impacts of AI. We're looking at recent TechCrunch articles. Our goal here really is to shed some light on the big things, AI's effect on the economy, jobs, and these growing data privacy issues. We all hear the amazing promises, right? But what about the potential for widespread job loss, or how our data is being handled globally?
Yeah, and what's really interesting, I think, is seeing how some AI companies are trying to get ahead of this. Like Anthropic just launched its Economic Futures program that was just this Friday, June 27th. And this isn't just talk. It's like a serious effort to research the impact on labor, the economy, and actually develop policy ideas. Their CEO, Dario Amodei, he said back in May something pretty arresting. He predicted AI could potentially wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs.
Half? Wow.
Yeah, pushing unemployment maybe up to 20%. And this is in the next 1 to 5 years.
That's huge. 20% for white-collar entry level.
Yeah, it's a stark prediction. Yeah. And Anthropic Sarah Heck, she really emphasized needing an evidence-based view, understanding the good and bad shifts. So they're putting money behind it, grants up to $50,000 for research, holding policy forums. The key thing here isn't just, a company's funding research. It's that a major AI player is basically saying, look, big disruption is likely coming, and they're investing in figuring out how to manage it, which is, well, kind of different from some competitors.
Right. That leads me to ask, how does this compare? Like you mentioned competitors. OpenAI, for instance, their economic blueprint, from what I've read, seems more focused on getting AI adopted, building infrastructure. Is it fair to say they're maybe not focusing as directly on mitigating that job loss Anthropic is worried about? Is there a risk there?
That's a really sharp point. The article suggests the jobs most vulnerable are things like repetitive admin tasks, data entry, maybe some junior analyst roles. Now, whether 20% is the exact number, who knows? But it definitely highlights this growing feeling that, yeah, jobs are going to change a lot. Anthropic seems unique because they're not just predicting disruption. They're actively trying to build tools, maybe to help workers adapt. Researching solutions, OpenAI strategy, well, it looks more geared towards growth. Building data centers, training models. That does create tech jobs, sure, but it's a different approach. Enabling AI's reach versus trying to cushion the blow for people potentially affected.
Okay, so that's the economic side. Companies sort of grappling with the future they're creating.
Exactly. But while they do that, governments are already getting involved, especially on the data side.
Absolutely. And this is where it gets really tangible, I think. Data privacy. The regulatory stuff is becoming super clear now. There's this German data protection official, Mike Camp. She actually reported a Chinese AI app, DeepSeek, to Apple and Google once it pulled from the app stores there.
Pulled entirely. Why?
Because, she says, it's illegally transferring user data to China. It's not complying with EU law, like GDPR, which is really strict. She mentioned far-reaching access rights for Chinese authorities. Basically, the government could potentially demand that data.
Regardless of where the user actually is.
Exactly. And it's not the first time. Italy apparently already banned DeepSeek for similar reasons earlier this year. So it raises big questions, right, about digital sovereignty, like nations controlling their own digital space and ultimately, well, your personal privacy.
Yeah, that DeepSeek case is more than just one app. It's like a perfect storm showing how national rules about data are bumping up against global AI. Governments are drawing lines in the sand. This data stays here, essentially. If you zoom out, you see AI as this massive economic engine, but also this trigger for really complicated ethical debates. You've got companies trying to manage the economic fallout, governments trying to protect data, which brings us to the core issue. How do we balance all this amazing innovation with, people's well-being and their privacy? It definitely shows this trend of nations wanting more control over data within their borders, and that changes things for all international AI services.
So thinking about everyone listening, what does this actually mean for you? It's your job's future, potentially. It's your personal data. It's how countries interact digitally. These aren't abstract issues anymore. So as AI keeps, racing ahead and changing things, how do we make sure it's used responsibly? How do we avoid massive job losses while also keeping our data safe and respecting national boundaries online? What steps do we need to take proactively to build an AI future that's secure and fair for everyone? Lots to think about there. And on that note, remember to subscribe to the AI Tips and Tools YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our AI news updates every week. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.